Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. So, we're diving straight into a fascinating action research study, and we're looking at something absolutely crucial: how we can unlock true mathematical problem solving for special education students. Specifically, we'll be looking at 8th grade math achievement and how combining educational psychology with a platform like IXL Learning can guide students away from just basic memorization and toward genuine, independent understanding. So think about this for a second. What if the biggest obstacle preventing students from succeeding in math isn't that they don't know how to solve a specific problem, but rather that they literally don't know how to think through it? It's a super relatable frustration. A student works incredibly hard, they memorize all the formulas, they follow your examples perfectly, but then you hand them a brand new multi-step problem, and bam, they just hit a brick wall. It's kind of like having every single ingredient you need in a kitchen, but absolutely zero recipe to put it all together. And this challenge is especially prevalent among 8th grade special education students. These are kids who are putting in immense effort every single day. They can memorize, and they can absolutely follow procedural examples step by step when you're right there guiding them. But they consistently struggle with the conceptual understanding and that independent multi-step reasoning. Basically, when the training wheels come off, the cognitive load is just way too high for them to process all at once. Section 1. Uncovering the root cause. Moving beyond the approaches level. Okay, so researchers actually looked at 3 years of mathematics data from a group of special education students, and they noticed a really distinct trend on state assessments. The students were frequently hitting this baseline approaches level, which shows basic procedural knowledge, but almost nobody was reaching meets or masters. A root cause analysis revealed that simply giving them more drill and kill worksheets, procedural repetition without actually explaining the why, well, it just wasn't working. They desperately needed structured support to build actual conceptual reasoning. Section 2. The Science of Scaffolding. Bridging the gap with educational psychology. To fix this, we have to look at the science, starting with Lev Vygotsky's Zone of Proximal Development, or ZPD. Vygotsky theorized that students actually learn best when they receive highly targeted support to accomplish tasks that are just a little bit beyond what they can do completely on their own. Think of it literally like a builder using a scaffold on a construction site. You provide that firm structure while the building is going up, and then as the student becomes more capable and confident, you gradually taper off that support. And this ties perfectly into Barak Rosenshine's Principles of Instruction. He showed that effective teaching is like guiding students step by step up a staircase. Because our working memory is pretty small, right? Think of it like a tiny backpack. If we throw a massive, complex math problem at a student all at once, that backpack just completely overflows. Rosenshine proved that we absolutely must break complex instruction down into small, manageable steps. We have to provide guided practice and check for understanding before ever moving forward. But there is one more vital piece to this puzzle, and it's this number right here, 0.70. This comes directly from John Hattie's groundbreaking visible learning research. Now, to put that in perspective, Hattie found that an effect size of 0.40 represents about 1 standard year of academic growth. So 0.70? That is enormous. And what's it for? Timely feedback. When a student makes a mistake, giving them immediate feedback corrects their misconception while their brain is still actively engaged in the problem. If you wait 3 days to hand back a graded homework assignment, you've completely lost that magic learning window. Section 3, IXL as the solution. Applying theory through technology. So let's talk about traditional feedback. It usually means a worksheet gets graded and handed back days later with just a giant red X on it. The student literally learns nothing about why they got it wrong. Contrast that with IXL's scaffolded support. When a student gets a question wrong on IXL, the system doesn't just slap an incorrect label on it and move on. No, it immediately pauses, provides a step-by-step explanation of the exact misconception, offers instructional hints, and then personalizes the next steps. It digitally meets that student exactly where they are in their zone of proximal development. And research by Panine and colleagues strongly backs up this kind of adaptive, personalized learning technology. Because the platform offers these scaffolded explanations in real time, it actively reduces all that extraneous cognitive load. It literally keeps that mental backpack from overflowing. It dynamically adjusts to the student's level. And honestly, this is critical for the educator. It offers real-time progress monitoring. You aren't just guessing who's struggling in the back of the room. The data tells you immediately, so you can jump in and intervene in person. Section 4. Measuring meaningful growth. Tracking success in the classroom. Now, to rigorously track if this was actually working for 8th grade special education students, researchers used a blended approach. First up, the quantitative data. They utilized IXL Learning Analytics to track skill mastery and long-term performance trends. But they paired that with daily 2-question exit tickets. And this is vital, right? Because it proves whether the technology actually translates to offline mathematics performance immediately following the instruction. It's not just about getting good at clicking buttons on a screen, it's about genuine, lasting mathematical comprehension. And following the recommendations of action research expert Craig Mertler, they didn't just stop at the numbers. They looked at real behaviors through a qualitative teacher observation matrix. And notice what's missing here. We aren't measuring subjective feelings like, do you feel confident in math today? No, we're looking at observable actions. Are they actually opening the explanations? Are they reading the hints? Are they revising their answers after getting feedback? Let me tell you, watching a student transition from step 1 all the way to step 4, that is watching a student literally learn how to think. Section 5. Building confident mathematical thinkers. From procedures to true understanding. So, what's the core takeaway here? The ultimate goal is moving our special education students beyond simply completing rote procedures and guiding them toward truly understanding mathematics. When we combine Vygotsky's targeted scaffolding, Rosenshine's clear, bite-sized steps, and Hattie's massive impact of immediate feedback, and we deliver all of that through an adaptive tool like IXL Learning, we completely empower these students. We remove the cognitive overload, we start building real mathematical reasoning, and we finally give them the opportunity to experience genuine, measurable academic success. So I want to leave you with this final, slightly provocative thought. Think about your own classroom or learning environment for a minute. Are your instructional tools truly scaffolding student understanding, or are they really just testing a student's memory? It's a subtle difference, I know, but as we've explored today, it's literally the difference between a student who hits a wall and a student who learns exactly how to climb over it. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Keep exploring, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.